So today we're going to be going over Microsoft Excel. So, what is Microsoft Excel? So, it's an electronic spreadsheet program that can be used for budgeting, accounting, scheduling, and many other uses. And it's mostly used for like organizing information in those things. You can use it on Windows, Android, and iOS devices. In order to use Excel, you have to purchase a subscription for Office 365, and that costs $70 a year. It has Excel, it has Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and some other features. You can get it on another couple ways. The other ways you can use it are downloading it from the Android or Apple Store, or you can install the Google Chrome extension to use it from your browser. And for those people who don't want to use Excel, another good option is Google Sheets, and it's free. That's the one I personally use. So the benefits of Microsoft Excel. So it's a simple way to store, access, and share data. So just, as I said before, just organizing data. You can easily perform calculations through like um, there's certain ways you can do different calculations by setting it up, which we'll go over later in the live demo. You can compare and analyze data. You can create charts and graphs. You can print reports easily, and you can use it on both your computer and your phone, although the computer is a lot easier to use. So mobile support. So as I mentioned before, they have um, Microsoft Excel on the Android and Apple stores to download. So to get it, so over here in this left image over here, so for the Apple Store, you would just open it up and you search Excel, and it should be the first option. Then you can just press install, and after you install it, it will show you this option to buy it, but the app is free. You don't need to buy it, so you can just use it over here. And then once it's done installing, you can open up the app over here, like in the left. You can just click open, and then a notification will appear asking you to give Excel access to all your like files and stuff on your computer and or on your phone, and you would just allow it to do that. Then when you open it up, so first when you open up Excel, there are a lot of different templates you could use, and so you pick the specific spreadsheet you want, and then you want to just click on a blank workbook, and that'll just open up a blank spreadsheet. So here you would pick the one you want, and then make sure you click on blank workbook. And then after you open your spreadsheet, you'll have a completely blank workbook as it's shown here in the left image. And then at the top, it should be an option where you can, right here where it says book, you can pick the title you want to name it. Then there are different save options. The save as option is what you use to save Google Sheets for the first time. So like a different document you have or spreadsheet, you would click save as. And then the save option is basically any other time after your first save. It will just save all the changes you made to it. So that's on the mobile. So now for computer support, which I personally think it's just a lot easier to use since everything is kind of just there. First, you go to Office and you have to sign into your Microsoft account, and you have to So from the Office homepage, there should be an option that says Select Install Office. And then to complete the installation, just follow the prompts that are given after you click that. Then to add it as a Chrome extension, you can just go to the Google Chrome Web Store and you can just search for Excel and click on it. And then you can just click on Add to Chrome. This is usually used for like when you want to keep it online. That's what I usually use it for. And then once you finish signing up, your screen should look something like this. So it's just a bunch of yet again, a bunch of options of different spreadsheets you want. But right when you open it up, there's basically an option for a tutorial on how to use Microsoft Office or Microsoft Excel. And so I'd recommend clicking on the tour to learn what Microsoft Excel is all about. So as it was with the mobile, you can choose different kinds of sheets to use from the templates. And if you want to use a specific one, you can just search it up in the search bar on the top right. And after you find the one you want to use, you can just double click on it and it will just open. It will open a blank spreadsheet of that type and you can start using it. And so we'll go over more in the live demo, but once you open Microsoft Excel, you'll see a large spreadsheet. You'll just have basically everything will be blank, and then you have a bunch of options at the top to start filling in the spreadsheet with the information you want. So mainly how it works is through rows and columns. So going across is a row, going down is a column, and it's a great way of, as I said, it's a great way of organizing data through tables and other mechanisms. You can also extend how long each one is because sometimes you want to write something that will take up more space than what will be in another cell. So each of these like small things is called a cell, and there are obviously a bunch. We'll go over that more in the live demo. And then there should be an option. So as of recently, they've started to make it so you could save Microsoft documents to the cloud, and that's this thing called Save to OneDrive. And it will basically automatically save it. Then you can, as we said earlier in the Apple support or the mobile support, you can do the same thing. You can file. There should be an option that will, like when you save it, it'll ask for the file name, and then you can type what you want to call it after you click file. So like the file will give you the ability to do a lot of things with Microsoft Excel, such as creating a new document, opening something you already have, or saving your current document for the first time or subsequent times. And so, as I said, this autosave feature is pretty new for Microsoft. It will basically, you just turn it on and it will automatically save any edits you make to the cloud. This is personally why I used Google Sheets before, because that just saved it online, and Microsoft didn't have this feature, but now they added it. And so now we're going to go to a live demo on how to use Microsoft Excel. So this is Microsoft Excel, so just how I said earlier. So let's say we wanted to create a new spreadsheet, so let's start with that. So you would click on File, and you would click New right here. You click New, and then you can see all these different options you have. and we're just going to focus right here on the blank workbook. So you make a new one, so it opens up. So first thing first, the simple thing, you can just use your mouse to click on different cells. You can select different cells with your mouse. You can move up and down or left and right with the arrow keys. You can select multiple cells instead of just one by pressing Shift and dragging your mouse. You can press Enter to move down one. So this is pretty good when you're just writing and you want to go in the same column down. Or you can also move up by pressing Shift Enter. And then that's going up and down. And if you want to move to the right, you would press Tab. And then the same applies with Shift. You would press Shift Tab to start moving towards the left. And then if you want to select a certain row or column, you would just press Control space or Command space if you're on a Mac. And then, so Control space would select the column, and then Shift space selects the row. So those are just like different ways of selecting different things on Excel. So then to actually like start writing in these, say you wanted to add something in cell A that was pretty long. So something like that, it's pretty long. So you would, there's these little gray lines in between A and B, and you can drag that. So your phrase or whatever you put in that column stays here, and it doesn't get cut off by other rows or by other cells. And so if you wanted to combine, so instead of just dragging it out like that, and you want to just merge them, so this is how it is normally. There's a merge and select. So here you can press the merge and center, and basically you can just select two different, one second. You can select you can drop down, and then you can select two different or multiple cells, and you can just merge them all together. I think you have to highlight it. Yeah, and so now this whole thing, instead of multiple cells, has become one big cell basically, all the way till the end. And then you can just undo that. And that's basically, or you can just merge with the one right next to it by selecting two cells, like this. And then you have one big cell there. Say you wanted to add the same thing. So instead of colors, let's say we had like just a random number. If you wanted to add this number to multiple cells,
you would click on that cell, and then at the bottom right corner, there would be a green square. So if you click on 85,
okay.
then you click
Oh,
tiny square, and then you drag that down.
okay.
You can also use that to increment. So if you had 1, 2, 3, and you wanted to continue the pattern, you would select from 1, 2, 3, and then you would do the same thing with the green arrow starting at number 3, and it would it would increase the count all the way down.
So like this?
Yep.
All right. So that would be like the pattern. And so if you want to copy, you would just copy paste. So you would Control C, select another cell, and Control V, and you would be able to get the same information in that one. And then let's say we wanted to do the math in this. Let's say we wanted to add them up. We would do, you would first put in the equal sign, and then you would just do the rows you want. You would select the rows you want, or for like just one. So for one cell, you can just do something like 5 times 5, and it will give you the answer. So it'll do the math by itself. It only really does simple math. And then if you want to add certain cell values together, so you can go to formulas and you can click on auto sum, and it will automatically sum up anything in the row or anything you want. So if I were to sum up from A to D, this should give me like 116, I think. So that'll give me 116. It just does the addition of everything in that row. And you can also do this with like division, basically. Division, subtraction, and all that. And then you could also do like, say you wanted to go from A3 to D3 with subtraction though. You would just do, 1 second. You would just put equals, and then you select the cell, and just add whatever equation you want. So 5 divided by 5, that would just give you 1. And if you wanted to do with certain parts of the cell, say you want to do from A3, you could do A3 divided by D3. And that would give you whatever 85 divided by 25 is. And you could do that with subtraction, addition, multiplying, or division. You can just do it with any of them. And so if you want to organize the cells numerically or alphabetically, you can highlight whatever you want. And go to arrange data.
So there are a few ways to do this. You can use the sort and filter under the editing section of the home tab.
That's what I thought. All right. I think it's just the table itself, but usually if you would press sort and filter, you can just kind of like organize the numbers in the way you want them, like this. But this is just a weird, like, this is just an example. So that's how to use that. So now if you want to add, let's say you wanted to add a chart or a graph, you would go to insert. You would first so you would have something like this. Let's change up the numbers a little. So if you wanted to add a graph, you would insert, and there should be an option for a lot of different charts you would want. You want to highlight the information you want to put into a graph. You would go to insert, and you go into the charts part, and you would press whatever graph you'd want. Just use a line, or this is a scatter. This is better. So instead you would use something like this. So basically you'd have your graph with all your numbers. This is your X, this is your Y axis. And you can add different, you can give the title a name. You can give the chart a name. So this is random, so I'm gonna name it random. And then there are some other options where you can select to change the name of the x-axis, or if you wanted to change the numbers or the scale at how the x-axis or y-axis are.
To add the text for the X and the Y, you would have to add that at A1 and B1. And so when you generate the graph,
Yep.
it would automatically detect the titles. So since you don't have a text there, it's not picking up the labels.
Yeah, so if there was something above A1 and B1, those would be what the x-axis and y-axis would be picking up for the titles for those. And so then if you wanted to change the type of chart, you can press Alt F1. My computer does not have the F1 function, so I can't do that, but pressing Alt F1 would automatically make it a bar graph. Or if you want a different one, you can just right click on it. And right here, there's an option to change the chart type. And there's a lot of options to pick from. So this would be like a bar, different other ones. You can pick from a lot of options. All right. And so if you wanted to change the chart style, then you can there's an option here for like chart style where you can just kind of like give it different. So when you click on it, a lot of options show up for the chart styles. You can pick the different styles you would want to use. You can hover over them to see if you would like one over the other, but that doesn't really matter too much.
I just want to mention that if you had your data, I mean, this is for a very simple chart. I think Excel can do more complex charting, but generally having two axes, you can switch the row and the column just by clicking the switch row and column button. So that's pretty handy as well. If you mix it up, then you can always switch it afterwards.
So then we've just been working on one sheet right now. So if you wanted to work on another sheet, you can. So you can create multiple sheets. So you just add new sheets. And if you wanted to delete it, you could just right click on that sheet and you can just delete it like this. And then if you want to rename it, you could just right click on it again. And there's an option to rename that sheet. So right now it's just named sheet 2. You can just rename it whatever one you want. That doesn't really matter. And then after you just pick a name, you just enter, and that'll be your new sheet name. It's a great way of organizing different sheets. And then the last thing is adding a macro. They allow you to save frequently used actions you do in Excel. So you don't have to like keep repeating the same action you do. And that's the end of the demo.